Alrighty, so today we'll be talking about a kind of an odd and not so popular traditional knife pattern, the cotton sampler. The example I have for you today is this Rough Rider cinnamon stag bone cotton sampler with a carbon steel blade. A few different companies make cotton samplers, um, but I think Rough Rider has the best cheap or inexpensive example. These go for around $15 to $20, and they make, I think they have 5 to 8 different cotton samplers in their different series. I know GEC, Great Eastern Cutlery, they just came out with a cotton sampler, but you know GEC, they run $100 to $150. So it was a little out of my price range for a cotton sampler. I think Ontario Knife Company, they also make a larger fixed blade cotton sampler. I'm going to show a picture of that right here. Pretty inexpensive. I think they go for like $10 or $15, but USA made, if that's important to you. To be honest, early on collecting traditional knives, I was not a fan of cotton samplers. I initially thought they were ugly, and I didn't really see much daily use out of them for me personally. But after learning about their history and their very unique use or purpose, I kind of grew fond of them, and I like history, so I think the history played a lot into my interest in this pattern. Um, but basically, early on, cotton farmers and cotton buyers, they would have this kind of cotton sampler knife or something similar, and they would jab it into a cotton bale. I even had to Google what a cotton bale looks like because I had no idea, and I'm sorry for my ignorance. But they would place the blade inside the cotton bale and then pull out a sample of the cotton. And based on the buyer's or farmer's expertise, they would be able to tell, just based on the sample, what the grade of the cotton was. And they would look at the fibers, and I even read they would roll parts of the cotton on the flat part of the blade and give it a grade. And obviously, the higher the grade of the cotton, the more money it was worth. But unfortunately, this practice has been replaced by more modern machines, and there's a scientific approach to grading cotton. I believe it's even regulated by the government how cotton is graded. So, with that, the cotton sampler knife has kind of died. I'm sure small time farmers, they still sample their cotton just for themselves and just to get an idea of what they're producing. But as far as this traditional knife pattern itself, it's more of a history piece or a nostalgic knife pattern. But of course, this knife can be still very useful. I've heard people using it as a skinning blade because of the big belly and the low risk of it piercing hide. Also, I've heard people using it as a peanut butter spreader, or even some people use it as a daily user. So it just goes into what everybody uses and their preferences. But I'm pretty happy that Rough Rider, GC, and some other companies, they still produce the cotton sampler. It's good to see history not being lost, especially for us knife nuts. I think it's very valuable and it's fun. Alrighty, that's going to be it for me. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment below if you have any cotton samplers, what you use them for, and if it's a pattern that you want to continue or even start collecting. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.